Brothers and sisters, this is a transformative moment in our nation's history. This is bigger than collective bargaining. This is bigger than workers' rights. This is bigger than just education. This is for the heart and the soul of our very nation. This is a question of whether or not America will live up to its creed and whether or not we will go backwards as opposed to going forward. We have come too far for anybody to turn us back now. There is a need for an emergency financial manager, but the emergency is in Lansing, and the people need to be doing the managing. We need to be managing those who would in fact balance their budgets on the back of poor and middle class people. See, it's easy to say that I will not take a salary if I'm being torn off $1 million or so every year. It's easy to be saying that I don't need to have my pension when I done took everybody else's pension before I got to where I be. It's easy to say that we need to be reducing or eliminating and cutting the budget when in fact nobody is reducing or eliminating or cutting your budget. It's one thing for us to be in Lansing on a Wednesday while folk are in fact enjoying the benefits of what we did to get them here on Tuesday and Monday and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We must be very clear that if we come to Lansing, this is not a one-day struggle. You need to understand that. This is not a one-day struggle. It's not a one-month struggle. It's not a year struggle. This is a protracted struggle to take back America. This is a protracted struggle in terms of who is going to be working for the benefit of all of America. This is not Egypt. This is not Tunisia. This is not Wisconsin. This is not Ohio. This is not California. This is all of that. This is America. Michigan is the home of labor. It is the birthplace of labor. Now it is time for labor to take back its creed and to lead the way. It's very clear that folk who said they were going to do certain things have done certain things, but it has not been in our interest. We believe in collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is a part of American democracy. We've been doing that for over 200 years. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights by the United Nations in 1948 guarantees collective bargaining, guarantees dignity and respect for workers. John F. Kennedy signed an executive order in 1962 guaranteeing collective bargaining. Collective bargaining is not just about you take this and I take that. It's about dignity. It's about respect. It's about justice. It's about doing the right thing. Even more important than what Kennedy said, even more important than what the United Nations said, even more important than what the National Labor Relations Boards have said since the 30s is what our God has said. Our God has said that the laborer is worthy of his hire. So if you're a laborer, if you're working, you're worthy of your hire. Why should our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents who have worked and built this nation now be taxed because they are now celebrating the twilight of their generation? That's wrong. That is wrong. And God will not bless us if we stand by and let the seniors and the elders, those who cannot protect and defend themselves, be put under the boot of folk who have no conscience, folk who have no concern, folk who have no sensitivity about what they are doing. We as workers, as people who our minds have stayed on freedom and justice, and equity must speak up, must stand up, and must get up. Because you came, listen, because you came to Lansing today, it don't mean a darn thing if you don't go back to your local communities and begin to organize and organize and organize. We must not get too comfortable in our misery and conditioned to our agony. We have too many folk who have reaped the benefits of our labor that are now trying to cut the very throats of those whose foundations above which we stand.
Can you say something about, what, particularly what the UAW's position has been on all the proposals?
Well, the UAW is we're just sickened by all of this stuff. It's such a total power grab away from the communities and away from the voices of workers and the voices of the communities, and that's what it's all about. I know there's some people want to classify it as a war on unions. It's a war on workers. Unions are just the voice. That's the tool that workers use, and it doesn't matter. This is a power grab into your communities, into your schools. They're taking away the voices. They want to have a third world economy for workers while the rich just take the cream off the top and live very well. And all we want is fairness. We've always been willing to, do our fair share of work and pay our fair share of taxes, and we're more than willing to step up to the plate. We know that we're in an economic crisis and everyone's got to give a little, but we got to share this. It shouldn't be on the back of our senior citizens getting pensions. This elimination of the earned income tax credit, that just makes me sick. That's so immoral for a party that claims to have family values. This is going to rip families apart, because if you don't have the money to feed your kids, then you destroy the entire family. So we're here fighting for everybody, and we just want to keep the momentum going until we can either stop some of these bills or get a fix in at the legislature. Whatever we got to do, but we're going to keep fighting until we get it done.
Okay. I was just going to ask, if you have any more to say about it, if not, that's fine. But just in terms of what sort of the strategy is, besides obviously fighting these bills so they don't, but is there any other discussion about in terms of, having these ongoing demonstrations and doing the lobbying work? Is there any discussion about taking any other kind of action?
Oh yeah, there's a big, there's a Michigan table and there's a national table, and in each of these states, because this is a national agenda, war on workers. It's not just popping up in Wisconsin or by coincidence here. This is an agenda that's being promoted. So actually we've got another nationwide call to action coming out on April 4th is the next targeted thing that we're going to be doing nationwide. Of course, we're always encouraging local activity. Yesterday we had about 500 people in Muskegon that rallied in front of the Chamber of Commerce, just saying business needs to pay their fair share. We'll do our part, but it's got to be shared equally. So you're going to see a lot of local action. We know coming to Lansing's okay, but it really happens back at home, and that's where we're going to hit these legislators. That's where we're going to make a difference. So the biggest day coming up is April 4th. Look on all your social media. You'll be hearing stuff. We'll be definitely doing things in Grand Rapids and across the nation. So look for that.